I love how everyone is so active on Slack. It just shows me that there's so much interest, so much work being done. So what sort of questions do you have? Is that a John Bowden online?
Yeah. There you go. Apurva is also here.
Okay, we've got data team. Excellent.
So I think, yeah, I'll just repeat what Ben said. So this is for you guys. We wanted to have this Datathon meetup. There is no agenda. We'll just keep it more Q&A, open-ended. So like I see already some of our data people are also joined now. So just jump into it. Maybe you can raise your hand and like we can ask you to unmute yourself and ask questions, however you want to do it.
You can ask questions about the Datathon, about the submissions, anything you want to know.
I was kind of curious about what the status is of the production well and what decisions have been made regarding location and also completion.
Oh, wow, that is a little bit outside of my expertise. Probably
I
the
see
right person to, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Andy just joined. Maybe he can give some inputs, but Jeff, we would ask you to ignore that part of the project because yeah, because that's already done, and our hope is that we can learn from this exercise, and next time we can the Utah Forge team can implement it. But Andy, thank you for joining. There is Jeff was asking about what is the status of that production well in Utah Forge. Do you have any comments there?
Yes, they are currently drilling. I think that they just drilled the curve of the production well from the updates that I got yesterday.
Cool.
All right,
Any other question?
Do we have to share just our final results or our whole process? How much of our work should be shown in our final presentation?
Perfect. This is a question for me. So I'll be sharing the rubric that we agreed on for judging y'all's submissions. And I'll be doing that after this meeting. And you're going to need to have four separate pieces of information in order for your submission to be judged. First, you're going to have the PowerPoint deck presenting. Let me just flip over to that so I can make sure I'm telling you the right thing. And that's going to be telling us how well you understand the problem, how you visualize the data, how you analyzed it, and what your recommendations are. Your workflow needs to be clear to follow. And this is all in the document, so you don't need to be writing it down or anything. So that's going to be in your PowerPoint presentation. Additionally, you're going to need to have a recorded your team talking over the PowerPoint presentation, a recorded presentation, and that's easily done within PowerPoint. And the way that we want you guys to submit that is probably via a YouTube link. So put it on YouTube, make it a hidden, unsearchable, and then you can just send us a direct link in an email to watch it. Thirdly, you'll need a README that will describe everything you did that you think was relevant for understanding your workflow. And finally, you'll need the fracture realization data file, which is going to be, we have a specific template for that. Did that answer your question? Did you need any more clarification on that?
That answered my question, but I had another question based on that answer.
Perfect.
As far as the YouTube video link, would we be able to post it to our video? Like if my company wanted to post it to our channel. Would I be allowed to do that eventually, like after everything's been determined?
So everything, all submissions are going to be open source. So correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but I think that would be allowed.
Yep. There's
Yeah,
not-
but
Just from the get-go?
Well, after we prefer after the Datathon's over.
Okay, of course.
Yeah.
Sounds
after
good.
after the results are out, I think then just to keep it a little bit till we finalize on the final results, and then after that it should be open.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not like a presentation at a conference where there's a sort of transfer of the copyright of the actual video or whatever. This is open.
Are you expecting most people to be using GeoDT? And if so, do you want those input parameters as well?
I can try to answer that. Andy, yeah, go ahead, please. You can answer.
Yeah, I think that whatever tools you use, I think the more information that you provide on your input variables and the programs that you use, the easier it is for the team of judges to judge it appropriately. So if you use GeoDT, I would provide any context that you think is suitable. I would, if you use other open source programs, same thing for those as well.
And what about code that we write to analyze the microseismic data?
I don't think that we have required you to submit your code specifically. Pushpesh, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, so yeah, we don't anticipate you to submit your code, but you should just explain in the video and the PowerPoint what you did in that code, but you don't have to necessarily submit your code.
Related to that, Francis NSK wants to ask whether it's GeoDT versus peer review.
I think those do two different things. So GeoDT is a modeling software, whereas peer review is actually the visualization aspect of it.
That's correct, Andy.
All right. Anything else jump to mind? If there's any questions on Slack that might need to be clarified for people. So I had some questions on to me personally about finding information on the GDR. And I'll just ask this on behalf of the people who are messaging me. So somebody wanted to know whether they could get the density of slick water or crosslink gel injected for each stage. They're having trouble finding that on GDR. So what would your recommendation be for that?
So I would probably look in the stimulation data sets. Those are all of the data should be on the GDR, but if you refer to the GDR bootcamp, some of the data is within zip folders. So I think high level, you'd want to look at something related to the stimulation of the 16A well, and that information should be in there. If not, let me know, because it may be within Forge's wiki where they have more of a report on their stimulation. So do you know who asked that question, Ben?
Yes, that was somebody from the Korean team, Jungwon Kwak.
Okay, and then it was let me just write this down. It was about the slick water injection constituents, basically.
Yeah, density of slick water or crosslink gel for each stage. And I also recommended to him that not all data might be found in a CSV file. Some of it might be found in well reports or other things.
Yeah, if it's not in a CSV file, that's what I would say. It would probably be in the stimulation summary, which would be like a PDF report. But I can do some digging and try and locate that.
There's some
Uh,
data in SPE papers as well.
Yeah, so to be clear to all you competitors, as long as you
Armor.
find data that's open source, feel free to use it. Your imagination is your limit. As long as it's not privately known to you. It has to be something you could find somewhere. What else do we have? We've actually had a few questions, I think including from Jeff about the well coordinates. Is there still any confusion about that? I think that's been answered on the general Slack already. If you're
We were
still
planning
feeling,
to use coordinates relative to 16A, and we decided to use SI units, which is more compatible with most of the materials other than the drilling report.
just a little bit of unit conversions, huh?
Yeah.
What else do we have? Okay, I think that's it from the questions I've been sent privately. How about the rest of the team?
No, I think that's it. So maybe, yeah, if you don't have any questions, feel free to do it later in the Slack also, but this is your time. If you have any statement, any comments about the whole process, you just want to share with the group, feel free to do that right now. Otherwise, we'll give everybody 45 minutes back if there's nothing else. But this is a good opportunity because we have Andy and Apurva here who are more familiar with the data. So I would recommend if there is anything, any comments or any of your apprehensions or questions, just feel free to address it here.
Are there going to be any more Q&As?
There's no
Yeah,
more
that's what.
scheduled.
Yeah, that's what we scheduled right now. But I don't know if if it's useful to have 1 hour again set up if we don't have like a lot of questions. So I think the better way to handle it will be through Slack. If you don't have, if you feel something is not addressed through Slack, you can reach out to us directly on Slack or email. Most of you have my email, so we can do that. We'll see if a lot of people ask for another Q&A, we can schedule it. But probably
I would
just,
guess in 2 weeks would be a good time. There are a lot of people that had, I guess school year commitments that were just ending, and they're probably now getting a lot more serious. Like several people in our group are in that situation, and they're just now starting to work more on the Datathon.
okay. So maybe we can think about last week of May as another Q&A session.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
schedule that.
And then pushback is just one other set of questions that was going through the chat about is GeoDT free to download? And so there's a link that Andy posted there, but to the video about how do you load it and where is it and all the rest of it.
Yeah, so that's to the GeoDT bootcamp. The GeoDT software is actually you can find that on GitHub. So I'll let me navigate over there and I'll grab that link as well.
All right, looks like we have another question. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hello, everyone. I have a question about the contextual data for interpretation of fractures, especially on the geomechanical side. Do we have data on the stress field and stress measurement before and after the stimulation events?
For the data
Stand
team
by.
for this one.
Yeah, I'm I'm currently navigating around the GDR right now. There should be stress field data. One of the reports that I'm looking at the moment actually does have the stress orientation plots in them. But who asked that question? I'm sorry.
It's from K1.
Kevin.
Ali.
Yeah, let me go grab the links to that on the GDR and I'll post them in the chat as well.
Thank you.
All right.
And
any
also,
last
I have,
minute-
sorry, I
Yes,
have
go
one
ahead.
more question I wanted to ask. In the, I don't know if it was the kickoff slides or kind of a variant of that, there was a few slides about the graph and kind of using a graph representation of the flow path to basically or represent fractures as a graph, basically.
Mhm.
My understanding is that GeoDT is using the discrete fracture network model. But if we have extra time, if we want to look at the graph approach, do we have any software package to do the flow simulations?
So no, there is not a specific one to do the flow simulations. However, there are a couple of Python packages that I had outlined in the bootcamp slide deck, and those should basically allow you to simulate flow from one node to the other in a graph, essentially. I can repost those links if you want, but these are just Python packages. They're not specifically meant for this type of data or problem.
Gotcha. So they have to be, I guess, kind of repurposed or kind of,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
And I think you mentioned they were in the slides, right?
Yes, in the bootcamp slide deck.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. I'll check that. And thanks, Andy, for the link.
Yes, that's the tensor strain meter data. So, and I think that's during the stimulation. I'm currently looking for the pre-stimulation stress data set. So.
So I think the slide deck for the data bootcamp, we shared a link with you guys before with all the documents for the problem statement and everything. I'll update that link with the bootcamp slides. So you can go back and we can repost it on Slack again. So you can go back and download the files there again. I think it's already in there, but let me check. Yeah, it's already in there. So let me just share the link again here. So this is where you can down. Oh, it went to waiting room. Sorry, everyone in the meeting. So the link that I just shared, you can just download all the files that we talked about right now. The problem statement, the data bootcamp slides, and the template for the fracture realization. Okay.
All right. Any further questions?
And everybody has access to the YouTube playlist for all the boot camps, and or do you need something? I think we are posting all the links in the boot camps channel in Slack, but if you just because we are sharing everything here again, so I'll just copy that also there. There's a question, I think. Oh no. Okay, sorry, man.
That's okay. I was just doing just walking them out type of thing. All right. Well, if there's no further questions, yeah, enjoy the 40 minutes that you get back. We really appreciate all the hard work you guys are doing. I hope you're enjoying it, enjoying the puzzle, enjoying collaborating with your new teammates. And as always, just send us a message on Slack, me, Pushbash, any of the other hosts, and yeah, we'll have another Q&A session at the end of May if that works out. And good luck.
Yes, and I would say, just let me plug this real quick. If you have any urgent questions, please use the Slack. Obviously, don't wait for the Q&A at the end of May. If time is of the essence with this competition. So that's the best place to reach us. And Ben has been really good about distributing those questions to the proper parties. So. And I just posted the link to the GitHub for the GeoDT tool for Francis.
All right, thanks everyone. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording here, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye-bye,
much.
guys. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.